Hey Pisces, how about a message from your metal dog? I heard Jupiter went into Pisces today and will be there for a bit. So maybe that'll come up in the cards. But let's just see what is happening with you, your deep, mutable Piscean moon energy. And we're going to get you a message here from your future self. So come this way. I will be your guide. All right. Definite feeling of cheesiness there. So sorry about that. Is that me or is it you? Okay. All right. Let's see. You are today. Wow. You are the Prince of Wands, the journalist. Looks like you're calling out the powerful people to me, Prince of Wands. Your future self is the Five of Pentacles, worry. There's some worry ahead. This is an image of somebody getting some bad news about their health. The pentacles or discs in this deck are earth and very much about the body. Okay, so we'll find out. Five of Pentacles is, I usually see it as a card of lack, a card of being left outside in the cold. This is a Thoth influence deck, so it's not what I'm usually working with. We will work with the images and what the cards want to tell you here. We'll find out more about that. Okay. Don't worry yet. That's the future. Today, you're just calling out the bad guys as the journalist. You're confronting from that passion, your passion for whatever, your passion about the truth, justice. Let's see. You are on, interestingly, an Ace of Cups journey. You're at a beginning here, an emotional beginning. Very divinely guided. I really see these figures inside the cup, and there appear to be 3 people in the cup to me, like standing in a circle underneath this fountain. Do you see 3 people? There's a lot happening in this cup. Ace of Cups is a new emotional beginning. It is divinely offered to you, and so that's the journey that you're on. Your future self, who has some worry about your health, wants to give you some advice. Maybe this will affect the future if you take this advice. Yeah, definitely being as confrontational as the Prince of Wands could be bad for your health. So you're actually being called into your heart here on an Ace of Cups journey already. That's what I see already. Okay. We're being told to let go of the Empress. The Empress this is your release. So the card is, it's very much about a nurturing, could be maternal, creative energy here. That is something to release. And not because it's bad, but it's just time to move forward. The Empress often comes in, this is an urban tarot, so there's less natural world in it, but the Empress often represents the earth for me. What I see here is actually a moon and stars behind her, that window coming in like a full moon. And I see those stars over her head. It's almost like your mother issues, Pisces. She looks like a lovely woman, but then I see you as the baby in the high chair there, waiting to get a little spoonful of love. There's a bottle and a toy. So, I mean, because this is a love journey, it's an emotional journey, an Ace of Cups journey that you're on, and this is your release. Like, if you're feeling like a baby in a high chair and you're dependent on somebody outside of you to feed you, that could be definitely something to release. Like you're getting fed from the outside. Yeah, there's a little bit of addiction to excitement here that you might be engaged in right now as this journalist. Like, I think of like these shock jock kind of journalists. Like they get high off of the confrontation, off of, calling people out. The journalist is themselves, although they're a celebrity journalist now, but the journalist is, it's not really about them, but they do eat up this excitement. So I see kind of like, and then because I see an Ace of Cups journey here, and then you needing to move beyond like being this little baby fed by this mother. You can see the little heart there that the baby has. Like, it makes me think of the heart bib. Makes me think of this Ace of Cups, which would be a heart journey. Okay, well, what are you to embrace according to your Five of Pentacles future? You are to embrace debauchery. Awesome. Did I not say this is somehow about cups? So yeah, those are cups, those are emotions, those are choices, they're projections. Debauchery in this is your embrace. Fantastic. And then you end up in the hospital in the future. Maybe we don't want to take this future self's advice. This came up for me before, Pisces. That I have been doing these message from your future self, and there was one where just the idea came into my head that we might not want to take this future self's advice. Like, we might want to end up somewhere else. And so if you're being advised to quit being such a baby in your high chair and like go out and debauch yourself, like, that's kind of bad advice. And then it's coming from a future self who's getting bad news in the hospital. I don't know. Let's see. We will definitely look more into this, Pisces. Okay, underlying energy for this reading. There is the Four of Cups. More cups, more emotions. They're not really about drinking and drugging, debauchery. Four of Cups is, there's spilled milk. This cute little pair of dudes sitting on their couch. There's a glass full of milk there. What are you going to focus on? What's spilled or the full cup? I like that. Four cups. Luxury. And that doesn't look very luxurious. They look kind of like they're in some kind of crummy apartment. Real modest glasses. Cookies. They look store-bought. Could be homemade. So this is an idea of luxury, that you can see luxury in it or you can see lack in the crummy apartment. Of course, they're busted. I'm seeing a crummy apartment. And there's also something here underlying this, which is about authenticity, the sun, joy, happiness, everything out in the light. I also see that this little one is overshadowed here by the dark statue in the back here. Like, it's a day at the park, but these old institutions that are marked by statues, like we've seen Confederate statues come down. Yeah. But I think of the sun as a positive underlying energy here, much like luxury, kind of seeing things in an optimistic way on this heart journey that you are embarking upon. Okay. I want to clarify this, Pisces. It seems like an odd thing to clarify this with. But we're going to go with my instincts. I'm going to trust my intuition. We will clarify with the Dark Tarot. It's full of really comic strip heroines with big bulging breasts and butts and all kinds of super sexy, slightly anti-feminist imagery for you Pisces. But I mean, warrior women, also feminist. So let's see some women with swords here. So you are currently being a bit of a journalist here. Bit confrontational, passionate, alpha figure here. The Prince of Wands. What else? Ooh, I'm a little bit tired from okay, so there is a little Knave of Cups. Little heart beginning. Just a little love. Nothing big, nothing fancy, but starting out on an emotional journey, which of course we already know that, right? So this journalist side of you that's perhaps like all confrontation, you know, you're being sent to find your emotional, to find your heart. That's what I see so far. What else? The Chariot. This is this momentum in you. The Chariot is a very, you're moving from stagnation into movement when you get on this Chariot. You are raring to go, lots of forward momentum. You can be a bit rough here from the Chariot. It's a very cardinal energy card of Cancer. And then we get the Page of Wands. Or the Knave, I think, in this deck. Yeah, the Knave of Wands, which this card is very familiar for me because this is now the queer of the deck, the Knave of Wands. This is why I call it the queer in the deck. This is the foreigner, the person, the other, the outsider. You can tell that they dress in a slightly unusual manner. So this is an aspect of yourself or somebody else coming into your life that causes you to, I think the Knave of Wands, it's just like a little young, youthful energy here. You have two knaves, one of cups and one of wands, one of emotions, one of passion and willpower on this Chariot journey. So you've got a lot of forward momentum. It's also very young energy, which goes with this Sun card that we got here. That you can see kind of a side of yourself that's a rebel, that tends to be other, that is queer or is somehow confronting, somehow walking away from these old Confederate statues, the past, these structures here. And that's how it's feeling to queer the tarot for me, is that we have a move towards justice, towards moving away from the old structures and symbols of what has been a white supremacist society, or a straight society, or a society that has put racists in office and coddles white supremacist ideology and tells white people that yes, we're not going to challenge your dominance, we're not going to challenge the normal family structure. Even queer people are going to go gay and get married. Let me distinguish here between queering, which is absolutely rejecting white supremacy and embracing some of the ideas that are foundational to white supremacy. And among them can be some of our ideas of family structure. So if you don't like the queer reading, move along. I am your queer tarot reader today. And this is clearly, because we see the Page of Wands here, going to ask you to question authority. If you already identify as a rebel Pisces, I think of my father, already a rebel, like this would be right up your alley. Okay, So this journey, this is the Ace of Cups journey that you are going on with your passionate heart. Lots of momentum. Lots of momentum and righteousness and young energy. Like, you're like a kid. This is similar. Last time I did a Pisces energy, I really thought of my dad like this kind of radical critic, like up to trouble and having a lot of fun, like youthful fun, like a lightheartedness to this, moving from alpha daddy energy to, well, let's see what happens if we just turn up and invite the pink triangle down into our consciousness here. Yeah, she is such a sci-fi. And then there's a much quieter aspect here of the heart journey that you embark upon. But you're doing it with all this chariot momentum. I hear a real mix, Pisces. And I'm doing mutable signs today, and that's what keeps coming up, is like the way that you mutable people born either Gemini or Virgo or Sagittarius or Pisces, you have this real movement between the quiet cup side and this like passionate side here, the kind of confrontational journalist. Okay, Ace of Cups journey. Let's find out more. Remember, here's your Ace of Cups. Divine gift of love. In the park, under the fountain, this angel representing the divine. Okay, oops. We see here a Knight of Chalices. There's movement of the heart. Classy love offer. She is off on her quest of love, on her strange beast. So strangeness here. Queerness, strangeness. And there is a Four of Pentacles, some sense of control. This can sometimes be discipline. It can be like overly controlling. This could be, it could interfere with a heart journey, which is that you're worried about what you might lose as you open your heart. And so then you could be protective. She seems very grounded. She's like taking a moment to meditate before she gets up on her strange beast for this heart journey. I think this Four of Pentacles is quite positive. You know, we should be grounded in our earthy stability before embarking on the wild journey of the heart. And then we see Judgment, another angel here. Judgment. This is ascension to the next level. It's very light-filled image for this deck. The angel that is divinely offering you this cup, I think, is appearing here with the kind of bright, sunny, youthful, inner child, just free to be me, because I am divinely supported by an amazing, like, super stereotypical, strangely wants to come into my head, image of the divine. Huh. Okay, well, we'll see what that, but there is an angel who is, gotta be honest, Pisces, like, there's some death here. There is, Judgment is inviting your soul upward. And this can be a spiritual journey. But because I've seen the card of Cancer here, and that's a sign. It's not a disease in the tarot or astrology, but because there is this imagery here, like, I feel like I have to be honest and say that there's something here about transcending your mortal coil, actually. But it's a divinely received heart journey of ascension that you're on. And it could take a really, really long time. Like this, the last reading I did, the future was like so far ahead. Like, you'd be 100. So that could be the case here, that when you reach this Five of Pentacles place of worry, what are you worried about? Like, it's time to accept the end, or fight this disease. I don't know. But if you're older and it's time, and we see this as the goal in your journey is this ascension that is judgment. I don't see death here. I'm just saying what's coming in, and that, I don't want anybody to die or get sick, but it's okay. So, Empress, there has been a nurturing of your inner child here. That's really something you've been doing, or you've been looking to the outside for something that you can find on the inside. You're definitely showing up here as a Knave of Cups and then a Knight of Cups, like a kind of progression in forward in maturity on a heart journey, which you're also quite grounded in, right, in the Four of Pentacles. This journey is much calmer than your present energy. Although it looks like you get on a horse or a strange beast and ride off on your adventure, like, then you meditate, okay? Then you meditate. It's a spiritual feel here. Okay, this is release the Empress. What does this mean? Why would we want to? The world, something is ending. The cycle is ending. Okay. Death. Transformation. It doesn't have to be dying. It could be a Scorpio. Or you're missing your mother. You're missing a woman or a person who is nurturing, supportive person. Doesn't have to be a woman, a born woman, but you're missing her, and she's passed over to the other side, right? So she's your angel. And when you're heading out on this new heart journey, you're taking a moment to connect with this being who has nurtured you, who's sort of come to represent an ideal. Yeah, I don't know why it's telling you to release this practice. Let's see. And then we see you at a Two of Wands, envisioning a new world. Okay, so somebody might have died, or you might, I don't know. I actually feel like that could be a message for like one person. Some kind of sickness narrative or missing somebody who's passed away. But what I see now when I get this Two of Wands, like the big message here is that the world as you know it is somehow ending. And you're going forth away from the world as you know it, away from this Empress, where you were nurtured in this world and with like, I mean, it almost moves me to tears, like the level of love that you have for this world. So like, I do feel loss here. But the world as you know it is ending. And so the time where you're just a little baby sitting in a crib getting fed is over. And because the Page of Wands here is here to clear this up for you, it tells me that like what the world is ending is actually one that we probably want to end, right? Like this is us walking away from the old way, the old structures, towards something new, right? Ace of Cups. It's a heartfelt heartfelt, heart-based, divinely structured world. But there is always at the end of the world, this is the world cards, the end of a cycle, or when death arrives to transform everything, to burn it up and bring it back from the ashes. This would follow death. Here we rise from the ashes like a great bird, great winged bird, or we stand above the end of the world and look out over it. And we don't despair, not when you're in the wands. When you're in the wands, you're like, all right, what am I going to build next? What is next? And so that's what this underlying energy is here of white milk, luxury, white. I just feel like this is so much Pisces, a reading about the end of white supremacy being brought by young people with all of this momentum. And this is not a shocker for you, but there is some way that you may or may not have been aware of that this white supremacist world has been nurturing you. And so it's hard, but it's also very exciting for you because Pisces, you're like really comfortable in the depths and the dark and in the moon, just like me, a Scorpio. And so there it is. It's right. It's right that it's over. And you're looking out at it and this Two of Wands, and you're ready to rebuild, to re-envision once all that lava cools, right? Because if you look here, there's buildings that are on fire. And she's standing on, it's like an eagle, statue of an eagle, which melting eagle, that American white supremacy. Wow, Pisces. Yeah, I don't know why I don't do more readings for you because you're very interesting. You're like tuned in to, you're tuned into this apocalypse and the next thing. Yeah, so what's to be embraced if we were leaving behind the little getting fed here like a little baby in the high chair? This is the debauchery. Okay. So debauchery, but what do I see? I see rainbows. I see a queer vision for a new day here, Pisces. Okay. We're not going to worry about this future self, although this is what they want you to know. This is a big, big, long story from you at the end of your life. Embrace this. I feel like there's a kind of Great Gatsby appeal to this, but it also makes me think of drag and glitter and rainbows. I see like a triangle insinuated here both in the cup shape and in the sword sort of light on the ground. I don't know. Looks like swords to me. Making me think of like a Two of Swords, which is a different card. This is a Seven of Cups, but a Two of Swords is similar to a Seven of Cups in that there's some confusion and difficulty making a decision. So, and you're at the Two of Wands, envisioning a new world. Okay, so let's see what else about this embrace. Embrace the Seven of Swords. 3 ghostly figures under the moon. Very much making me think of these figures that were in the cup here. Now, Seven of Swords is about secrets, and that came up last time, Pisces, if I'm correct, that you have like a secret world that and so so Seven of Swords from a queer reader's standpoint, it can be like your little community that's um, sheltered from the rest of the world, that has a methodology and a practice that is like a secret society. It could be like, it could be like a gay bar or community center. But I really want to think in terms of queering much beyond like gay, straight, binary, and much more into the three, your collective that is secret. And this came up before, that there were secrets in your reading, Pisces, and you were completely giddy with delight, at this little secret society. So that's coming up here. Your secret little subculture that you're to embrace, along with um, the Ten of Cups. This authenticity of the Ten of Cups here. This beautiful woman with her sword. Again, another beautiful sunny day. That sun card that we see very rarely in this deck. This light. So we get this image from the Dark Tarot, and now we get this blue dress, authenticity. Ten of Cups is, like your ideal love. It can be kind of a normative love, but I don't read that it. So here I see this person actually as this woman, as like she has a supporting person, but she's quite herself within this. And I love that as an idea of like the penultimate place that you reach when you get to a Ten of Cups. It's so often like a little nuclear family in the tarot, but here, yeah, she's got a loved one, a person, but they're not, her life is not about them. Like she's not going to post a picture of herself on Facebook with her boyfriend or her girlfriend or her pan friend, She's going to be posting a picture of herself. And she's got all of that. She's got the sweet little love story, but what defines her when she has achieved so we're going a journey, right, from the Ace to the 10. This is the last number. You reach 10, that's it. That's the end of the cycle. This emotional inner journey on this big journey of life. She's still herself. I just, that blue dress, it's just so important. She's authentically herself. She has found true love that matches her, that is, and he's not needing to hog the attention, because, traditionally, the dude has to be at the center, and he has to be on top, and she's in front, and she's got her own big ass sword, right? I love this. This is one of my favorite Ten of Cups. And also, you have an excellent butt. Okay, there is the Nine of Swords. This is insomnia. It is anxiety. This is a fantastic representation of this as this angel that we've seen earlier. I'll remind you, coming in with a sword. There's a lot of swords in this deck. Everybody has a sword. They're all on a hero's journey. They all have swords. She is naked. As he brings her this truth. And he's like, so here's this angel. And then we also have seen this angel offering you this divine new love, emotional journey. And then here's this angel. This is a bit dark, right? But it is bringing this sword, which represents the truth. In the swords, it can be one that keeps you up at night. So in this whole, I'm just enjoying the cards and reading them individually, but the story here underlying what you are to embrace, debauchery, this magical club club. It's a magical club. It's your heart people, right? The people in your little secret society where you're also authentically yourself, right? 10 of Cups, you have all of the people that know you, love you, get you, your heart people. They keep your secrets. They're in your secret society. And we have really clarity, and it's a difficult truth that, again, Pisces, from the last reading, it's like you are able to handle this truth, the kind of truth that comes from a dark angel in the night that can keep everybody else anxious and in insomnia. And you are able to embrace this darkness because you're supported by these fellow travelers who are in your secret society. It's whoever you are, Pisces, that watches my readings, like, you come through in this way. Yeah, you keep coming through in this way. And you're like, I love you because you're fighting white supremacy in some queerly fantastic, passionate, heartfelt way. Thank you for that work, whoever you may be. Okay, well, who are you in the future with this worry in the future? That's our last thing that we need to know here. Wow, time is going by here a little bit. I gotta make sure I don't miss this appointment. Okay, yeah, I gotta finish this though. Got an appointment. Okay. Bizarre how the time fled. All right, so there is your future, which is, this is the future self. Going to battle with the sword, with the truth that came in the night from that dark angel. And then there was a tower. But I feel like you brought this. You brought this. You aided in the end of this, the fall of this thing that was built on a shaky foundation. White supremacy is built on a shaky foundation. The queer must dismantle this tower. And you are Eight of Swords. Liberating. There's a liberation as a part of the Eight of Swords is a perspective of being trapped. But the future self comes in like the Knight of Swords, like the Tower, and liberates everybody that feels trapped in this Eight of Swords. Like, you are the liberator. And the only thing that your future self is worried about is like what's going to get built next, because you've brought it down, right? And you brought it down with your heart people. And you're looking at how you might want to do it differently now that you got there. You liberated people. It's a pretty grim, dark world. So that's what you're worrying about. The diagnosis in the future from your future self is that structurally, pentacles wise, like what now? That's the worry, not cancer. Although maybe somebody's that, I don't know. I feel very like humble about that particular tangent that I went on earlier, but you're worried in the future about what to build next. This is also something that we saw here. Like, this is, and when you look at your embrace, it's just like, I don't know, look at all these beautiful possibilities. And with these people who are heart people, we have access to the truth. We're being our true selves. I really feel like just a very being of yourself is the catalyst, the tower that liberates people from this old world that is beautiful and loving and where you get to be a little baby getting fed, but which needs to come down. Um, I talked about white supremacy. Underlying King of Pentacles, the Magician. All right, so underlying on this deck is the King of Pentacles. All the kings in this deck are real creepy. This one is all equally creepy. I'm sure if you're straight, you find it like super sexy. If you're like an old dude, I don't find it sexy. I find it to represent the old structural power that the young magician, and maybe this is, that's why there's a lot of knaves and young figures in this, these new visionaries that you're like part of this somehow, this little secret society of people that are just by being yourselves, you're just taking this old thing down. And I think of Havel and the idea of the power of the powerless. He teaches us, and he was a playwright that became the president of Czechoslovakia after the Velvet Revolution. But you should read his essay, The Power of the Powerless, if you haven't already. And just the idea of being your authentic self will bring down an unjust system of power. And that was his theory of revolution in Czechoslovakia. And it's always been a theory of revolution that I believe in. And so going forth authentically with those other people that are truly themselves, that your little secret society, whoever that is, going forth like the Page of Wands on this heart journey, it will change the world. And then, in the future, all we have to worry about is like what to build next. But that's all right. We'll figure that out then. There's lots of future ahead. So I hope that is useful to you, Pisces. Sorry, I'm going to go to physical therapy and hopefully get checked off that my shoulder's all better. And I will see you next time, my friend. Have a beautiful day being yourself and changing the world.